Good morning, everybody. Coming to you again this morning with another cup of coffee. And I got a story to tell you. The title of this would be, This Too Shall Pass. I want to encourage you today. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It'll pass. If you're going through good times, I suggest you stock up. You enjoy the moment. You put some profit aside for a rainy day, because the good times aren't going to last. They will pass. If you're going through bad times, I suggest you hold on. You keep putting one foot in front of the other, because it'll pass too. Life is full of these ups and downs. We have good times where we can rest, we can relax, we can enjoy. And we have bad times where we have to scratch, we have to claw, and we have to crawl in order to get to the next level. But we always level up, enjoy being there, and then it's time to level up again. You know, some storms don't come our way to block our path. They come our way to clear our path. And I got a story called This Too Shall Pass. It's in my book here, The Pursuit of Freedom. A lot of y'all know that when I was a kid, they sent me to prison. They sent me to prison for things I didn't do. And that's my cross to bear. But even though I was in there by myself, I wasn't alone. I did 11 years for a crime I did not commit. And when I get to heaven and I see the good Lord, you can believe I'm going to ask him about why all that had to happen. But I'm not there yet. I'm still here. And I got a lot of great stories to tell. I wrote a bunch of them in my book here. This is actually 2 books. The first one is called The Jungle. It's about that experience. And the second book in this book is called Serial Entrepreneur. That's about when I got out. But I want to tell you about the beginning. When anybody goes, they leave the county jail and they get to the state prison system. They're in orientation or processing, intake, whatever you want to call it. And from there, you spend a few weeks there. And then from there, they send you out to a permanent institution or a permanent camp. And they never tell you when it's going to be. You don't know when you're going. You don't know where you're going. You don't know any of that. You're just cattle. And you're herded this way and you're herded that way. And there was this one particular morning that they woke me up about 3 a.m. I'm sleeping there in the bunk and I heard the doors open. Clang! Cass, pack it up! I woke up with a startle. Where am I going? We can't tell you. Security. Just get dressed. I said, okay. So I got dressed, and my few little meager belongings that I had. I think I had a Bible, a pen, a pad of paper, maybe a bag soup or something, a few stamps, some toothpaste, toothbrush. I threw that all in a pillowcase, and I went out and I got in line. They walked us out the dorm where we joined another line that was on its way to the chow hall. And before we got there, our big line joined another line. And by the time we got to the chow hall, there was probably, 200, 300, 400 of us. And we're sitting there on these benches. No back to them, no padding, no cushion, just a hardwood bench. We sat there and they said, don't talk, don't make no noise. So we're all sitting there quiet. And they come around and they hand us this bag, this brown paper bag. And in it was a warm milk, a brown soft apple, and a bologna sandwich. And when I say bologna sandwich, I mean a piece of bologna stuck between two pieces of bread. And that was supposed to be our breakfast. I really wasn't interested in much of that. I drank the milk, a bite or two of the sandwich, and we waited. They backed up all the buses. They started calling people's names. They called off about 50 names. Those people went and got on a bus. They called off about another 50 names. Those people went and got on a bus. Called another 50 names. Those people went and got on a bus. We waited about an hour. Some more buses pulled up. They called another 50 names, another 50 names, another 50 names. Finally, the last bus of the day, just before lunchtime, the Bluebird pulled up. They called Cass. I got up. They put handcuffs on me. They put leg shackles on me. And I made my way to the bus. I kind of shuffled, made my way to the bus. Got on this crowded bus with about 50 other people. Man, it was crowded. They had 3 people to every 2-man seat. It was hot. It was stanky. You're brushed up and squished up next to people you don't even know. They had a 5-gallon bucket in the back of the bus. They had the last seat. You know the last seat, usually that little short seat that they got on the bus. They had that removed, and there was a 5-gallon bucket there. So if you had to use the bathroom or something like that, you had the bucket. So it wasn't long, halfway into the trip from Orlando to Miami, that bucket began to stink. And it's only about a 3 or 4 hour trip from Orlando to Miami. I don't know why it took us 6, 7, 8 hours to get there. But by the time we got there, they had already served dinner. So I had this bag lunch for breakfast. We didn't eat lunch at all. And then by the time we got there, they had already served dinner. So we got another bag lunch for dinner. The same thing. Warm milk, soft brown apple, bologna sandwich. They began processing us. It was after 8 p.m. By the time they processed and inventoried everybody's property and got everybody assigned to a bunk and all that kind of stuff, it was about 1 in the morning. I'd been up almost 24 hours. I had very little food. And they gave me my dorm assignment. And I walked across this compound. I had never been there before. I was intimidated. I was a young kid. I was scared to death. And they opened up the door of the dormitory I was to go to. I asked them if I could take a shower. They said I could take a shower. And it just so happened that my room was here and the shower was here. So I went on in, I took a shower, and they opened the door of the cell. And from the street light outside, the security light, it was shining in through the window. I could tell on the top bunk there, there was a big dude. He was a black guy. He was up there at the top, and they had me on the bottom bunk. They opened that cell door about 1:30 in the morning, let me in. I went in, I laid down on the bottom bunk, and I was just thinking, man, how did I get here? Where am I going? Because this was another transit facility. I wasn't at my permanent camp. I still didn't know where I was going, when I was going to get there. I didn't know how long all this injustice was going to last in my life. They had just sent me to this horrible place for something I didn't even do. And I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. I had a whole lot of questions. I had no answers. I was really just feeling kind of lost. And I looked up as I was laying in the bunk. I looked up, and above me, at the bottom of the top bunk, the bottom of it, somebody had taken a pencil and they had wrote, "This too shall pass." And I thought of all the prisons I could have went to, of all the dorms I could have been assigned to, of all the bunks I could have ended up in. I ended up in this one with a positive and an encouraging message. And when I got that, it really encouraged me. It gave me the strength that I needed to get through. And in my book, we even put a picture in here. I'll see if you can see it. You can see the cell here, the bunk. This is the bunk above me here. It says, "This too shall pass." This is the steel door with the little beam flap there. In my book here, The Pursuit of Freedom. And I just want you to know that even in the midst of the most horrible circumstances I could have ever been in at that point in my life, the Lord was there to comfort me. He had used the guy who had been there before to leave me an encouraging message. And I just want to encourage you today. No matter what it is you're going through, this too shall pass. You just have to keep waking up in the morning. I told myself that for 11 years. And it did pass. There was times I didn't think it would. There was times I wasn't sure if I could make another day or if I would make another day. But I made all the days. And so have you. You have survived every bad day you have had so far. So I want to encourage you, if you're having a hard time today, this too shall pass. And if you're having a great day, I encourage you to enjoy it, to take it slow, to soak as much of it in as you can. Because one thing's for sure, this too shall pass. If you're interested in the book, I'll leave a link in the comments below. And if you like the video, share the video, leave a comment on the video. I appreciate it. Thank you.